Hello and welcome to GworlFrens or GworlFrens. All right, so this is sort of the idea that I had for my podcast, and so I hope you enjoyed this video. Uh, you know, soon, hopefully, there will be able to be guests. I mean, not soon, but if there was a more of a structured way of doing this, and living in LA where most of the girlfriends are, there are some girlfriends in Atlanta, you know but I would like to start this by saying that this show is to somewhat promote uh, beings of the LGBTQI community. And for you that haven't heard my opening saying, hello LGBTQ plus DL men, women who secretly love us and support us. And if you don't identify with any of those labels, you're still free to subscribe to the channel. So the first topic that I have today is actually the inspiration for that saying, and it is TS medicine. Now, in the past, I've spoken about T.S. Madison's birthday being the day after my birthday, which is 10/22. Mine is 10/21. And so, what I want to say is that I recently came across a show that was debuted, and it was titled Asking for a Friend. Now, there are some interesting topics, and Spirit has this way of sending me these messages to someone answer my questions about things that I would normally ask certain guests. And I think that if she was a guest today, after seeing her show, it kind of answered some of the questions that I would have asked her. Now, something that I would have asked her prior to watching the show was, how does she feel on the OnlyFans wave that is happening, and her views and thoughts on how in the past she is known for being a adult film star and sex work. And some of the topics that she even had were about sugar daddies. And I recently made a note, and if I can find it, I'll put it up here so that you can see it. But it was about like younger sugar daddies, like sugar daddies being younger. And I titled it wanting a sugar baby daddy. Like somebody that's younger. Wouldn't that be like a proper name for it, because they're young, if they're younger than you? Like, I didn't know if that was a thing, but a lot of that was talked about. And also like a salt daddy, I didn't know that existed. But to gravitate toward watching this show, I wouldn't want to deliver the information here. I would rather you be able to watch it and get your experience from it, so it's not taking experience away from the show. But to speak about the question that I would ask Maddie, and it was kind of spoken about earlier, when people are feeling as if they could use more money, and how OnlyFans is a wave for certain people. And I think that her show also touched bases around shame around making money in that way. And I had a question around her being able to incorporate spirituality and her beliefs on um, being seen as a chosen being and having a past that is attached to the adult film industry. And how does she allow herself, because she has spoken about living in her truth. And what I do know about a Libra Scorpio cusp, which I consider myself a Libra Scorpio cusp, we are on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio, or drama and criticism is the cusp. And there was just wondering, well, there's this knowing that in that cusp we sort of air out certain information about ourselves so that others don't have any type of, it's not that they wouldn't have anything negative to say, but it's, if you're going to hear it, you're going to hear it from us. Moving forward, I want to speak about I always think of him as a friend, and a friend of mine. That's what I was about to say, so I allow it to be that. Although, sometimes there's this belief that some people just haven't noticed you the way that you have wanted them to notice you. And a lot of these people that I am speaking on do have a platform, of thousands of people. And, hopefully when I receive that type of recognition, I can understand the experience of not having that many followers when I receive that many followers. And so this next person that I'm speaking about is Malik McIntyre and his Estee Lauder campaign, and him being one of the candidates for it. And he's spoken recently about being in, what was I about to speak about? Because Spirit was trying to deliver a message. What I do remember is him speaking about being a Fenty girly and, stepping into the beauty industry and things like that. And I also want to say this because it's coming up, that Malik is a Pisces, and he speaks about mental health for you that do not know of him. And he is a social media, he considers himself to just be him. That's the energy he kind of gives off, but he can be considered an influencer. And I'm saying that without placing the label on him, because I think that in some ways he is, I wouldn't say shy of the media, but he is very sometimes cautious of what he presents to the media because of past experience with the media. Now, what I can say is that if this came up about him asking the question, should he start his YouTube channel? And he knows that he should start that YouTube channel, girl. You should start that YouTube channel. And it would be amazing. And, stop the doubt, and no more doubting yourself of being worthy and being enough, because if you start the channel, it'll be very I think the right people would see your channel and love your channel and love what you do. And if I'm not mistaken, when I looked up his life path number, he is a life path 8, which symbolizes abundance and symbolizes, everything that he's needing to come to him. He's that life path of success. That's his divine life path. I'm going to say that Malik is a very handsome man. I've also um, spoke about him in previous videos, and I know that he is a wine consumer. And I just did a recent video about all of the 26 bottles of empty bottles of wine that I had, and I think that's why I would consider us friends, because we enjoy wine. It would be great to like have a wine testing. And I originally wanted this show to be one of those shows where it shows the unity within the community of the LGBTQIA plus community, because a lot of times we are seen as a community that separates, like, and has our picks and choices, and you know, there is a lot of negative and positive within the community of LGBTQIA, or light and dark. And so when I see Malik, I think that he is one of those individuals that is destined and worthy of success and worthy of the things that he's receiving. And with the correct person in his life to he seems also like that type of person that even though he knows these things, he enjoys receiving that reassurance. He needs those that person that's going to say, yeah, I'm ready to see you on social media. I'm ready to see you posting that content on YouTube and things like that. Now, for the next topic, we're speaking about Santana. And Santana, you know, in academics, but I want to say that Santana, a Libra, we do have this, we sometimes can have dark humor within that zodiac, although we are a very balanced sign. When the zodiac is triggered by certain things within the media, and we have like a certain passion towards friends and things like that, I've noticed that there are some Libras that act in a very you know, it's like that side comes out of the zodiac, the Libra. As you've noticed in the past, Will Smith, who is a Libra, has also, you know, done things within the media, and then it being very, you know, yeah. So what I want to say with Santana, because this podcast is about the LGBTQ news. The focus is on Santana right now, and some things that he said to academics at their academics spoke out to him. And I'm not sure of the full entire detail of the story and how they begin to have this disagreement, but from what I have heard, academics spoke out on Santana. But if that isn't true, then comment under the comment section the actual experience of that. But here are the clips, or the audio clips, of what was said between these two beings.
On out, man. Let everybody know, man, I'm cool with the LGBT community, but no body man like mother saucy Santana could talk to me. Be spit in your face, nigga. Me and you couldn't even have a conversation. Boy, you need to go get right with God, nigga. Go get right with your mentality. Look in that mirror, nigga. Figure out what the going on with yourself. And we ain't indicting no homosexual people or people who whatever, but nigga like you, we know you got a mental illness, my boy.
Pull up to your headquarters. Headquarters. I don't want to post to the headquarters. I want to meet you in the club. I want to meet you in the field. I want to meet you in the streets. That's what the I want to do. And after I beat you, I'm going to you on your ass because you a bitch ass.
With Saucy and DJ Academics, right? So this is the drama part of this experience, right? And what DJ Academics said about not wanting to press Tana because him being a man that identifies with being a homosexual or gay. And I think that even Queen Latifah chimed in. And I think that when people are using the word gay, right, and saying, oh, they gay, and people use the word gay as like sometimes people use it to like weaponize and to project fear and things like that. And they also use gay as a word to separate us as beings. And that's why I don't really enjoy a lot of labels and placing labels on identity. And when I think of, what do they call it, where people consider themselves them and they, LGBTQI, non-binary, right? When people consider themselves non-binary, they consider themselves them and they. And I think I enjoy the aspect of the spiritual side of that, which is, it's the inclusion of everything that we are, and we are everything. And when we experience ourselves in that way, it is a unified experience. And when we use certain labels, it kind of like is saying, oh, I am this and this alone. And that's not true, because we are a collective consciousness of everything that is. But what I also wanted to add to that is that there were some things about Dwight Howard and his ex-girlfriend speaking out about it, and some of the things that she wrote about in the essay or just on social media. And there were things about the essay lawsuit and the RA lawsuit and things like that. And she referenced transgenderism within the comments on social media. And I think that, it's a time that people start realizing that we are a collective consciousness. And when we communicate to others, we are in some way communicating to ourselves spiritually, right? And so how we allow people to receive us is a direct reflection of what we can receive. And when we receive people in a experience that is less favorable of us, it just shows the things that we haven't healed and the conditioned patterns that are still there. And I want to congratulate, I can't exactly think of the correct word that I want to use, but it just does bring me joy to see a person like Boosie speaking out on Dwight, and how he isn't speaking about it in a way that he would usually speak about certain experiences of the LGBTQI community. And I think that it was awesome to see him speak about it in such a way that wasn't as diminishing to the group of LGBTQI, the community, and because I think that he does have some fans that are set it out in his mother, set it out, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I just enjoyed that he wasn't responding in ways that he has in the past. So that is like showing growth. And that's not to say that he's like kumbaya, like let's hang out every day type of energy, but it is saying that he, can understand that some people are the way that they are. And I want to say this too. Some people in the LGBTQIA community somewhat experience others. They experience others and want for people to understand their perception right off the bat. And it's something that, you have to understand that you have to understand the experience, and sometimes that takes time, because if you haven't lived through it, it's difficult to to just give advice and understand it sometimes. Now, I also want to say, Dwight, is that, I think that the focus has shifted from the SA and RA lawsuits to a focus on who is in the bedroom. And it could be a media thing to, to shift the focus from the things that are going on in the lawsuit. But also, when I have seen other commentators speak about it, when people hear the word gay, and this is what I was speaking about earlier, when people use the word gay, they think, oh, disgusting. And, the word gay is attached to so many negative narratives. Like when people hear that a man is homosexual, they shift their perception to that man has some type of STD or STI or something like that, and that's not true. It's not always true. And to be honest, there are, from what I've heard within the media, that there are more cases of HIV in women than there are in men. Granted, those women could be women that have slept around with homosexual men, but that within itself says a lot, right? It says that, the focus could be more on women, since the rates of HIV and AIDS are higher in women. Dwight, I don't think that it should matter who is it shouldn't matter, even if it isn't a celebrity, it shouldn't matter who's in whose bedroom that way intimately if there isn't any type of harm or harassment or assault done in that way to that person. And I think the focus could be more on the SA and RA lawsuits that are happening, instead of the experience of who's in the bedroom doing the hanky panky or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to speak about also is that the way that Dwight is speaking up on these issues and experiences is it's kind of like he's channeled that divine masculine within himself, and the divine masculine is very protective, and he's being very protective of himself. Like, it shouldn't matter who he's in the bedroom with, and that's very honorable for him to be that way for himself. But I think that the people are wanting to know, from what I've seen on the media, is that the people are wanting to know, was there anything about SA or RA within, the experiences that he had that are included in the lawsuits. Yeah. I think that most people that do sign some type of NDA, they trying to do some freaking nasty stuff in their intimate, sensual, erotic experience. And that's what I could say about T.S. Madison. And just shifting back to that conversation, is that she doesn't mind being a little intimate and sensual and erotic and all of those things. And I enjoy that about her. The bottom line about the experience with Dwight is that the comments that could be made after visibly seeing the experience, is that we can and should be able to love freely and openly. And I think that, as long as these negative comments have been around about LGBTQI and or the LGBTQIA community, there would be there can be more acceptance within the community so that people see how strong we are. Like, we have to start with the community first. This is coming from a girlfriend. And, just speaking on things like fats and femmes and not making it a thing anymore. Not making it such a big thing about fats and femmes, and being able to experience ourselves freely in a way that when a man dates a transgender being, that it isn't reflective of anything like HIV or AIDS, or just the same thing with the word gay. We have to some way find a way to erase these other labels that are attached to a single label. When people hear gay, they say they kind of like cringe up, and that just shouldn't be a thing. Like when I saw the commentator about Dwight Howard, speaking about the things that were happening in the bedroom and how he was putting his hands on his thighs and things like that. And I think, for gay people that have always had to, in some ways, accept heterosexual depictions on TV and in media, you think that when beings that aren't homosexual would somewhat be able to reflect how it would feel for somebody that is or identifying with being gay. If we are able to watch media and shows and things and be able to say, oh, this is the way that people love when we see a man and a woman kiss on camera. And there's also has to be this erasing of how people view, because a lot of things stem from religious beliefs about man lying with women and women lying with men, and man lying with men and women lying with women. And here's the thing, if we are all centered in the now moment, it wouldn't matter if a person is going to hell or heaven. And it seems like there are people that they rush to be to the front of the line when it is to speak about a person's sexual orientation and what they enjoy in the bedroom, and saying that when they do speak out about it, it is in a way of like, oh, I'm just trying to spread the knowledge of spirit and say that man shouldn't lie with men as with women. And these things, yeah, we can say that they're true because they're in the Bible and they're in sacred texts, but just like any other story, some stories do get twisted along the way, and we have to realize that if we're living in the now moment, none of these things exist, because hell and heaven are also used as fear tactics, and we have to understand that. Some people say, oh, you're going to hell because you enjoy this, and other things are seen as less favorable, but we're all here to experience each other. So keep that in mind when you're allowing other people to experience you in that way, in the comments that you make. And I know that even the things that I'm saying, I'm aware that when I say things, I have to be aware, am I receptive of my own teachings and what I have to say. And I want to close this experience out with the comment about K Hood, and y'all know her for being on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and she's spoken about being, she considers herself a queen, and I would enjoy experiencing with her in the video. I think that she's a vibe. I think that she's a great time. I also, because I have stepped into this more spiritual experience, it would be great to see a dynamic like that is very in alignment. And I'm not saying that other beings aren't in alignment, but to say that, I have used certain words, like when I would say what's good nigga and things like that. It's not that I couldn't speak in that way, but I have moved up from using certain lingo and things like that because I have awakened spiritually, and I know the emotions and feelings behind certain words. But, and not saying that she's just that type of person, but some people, they're doing it because it's their job and they are comedic and things like that. But anyway, I think that I would enjoy that dynamic. But if you haven't seen her last video on YouTube or TikTok, watch it. But my thing with K Hood is, bitch, where the fuck did that food go on your plate? Because when you be eating all these food reviews that you do and food critiques that you do, your body should reflect it. Your body should reflect it. Envious, girl, envious, because WTF? I see all these food reviews that she does, and it's like she got a lot of food. But when I eat that amount of food, it show that I done ate that amount of food. When she eat that amount of food, it's like, did you share it with all of your friends? Did you eat all of that food? I want to know. Because look now. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that like, it don't look that bad. Like it's kind of like over exaggerating a little bit speaking about it. But at the same time, girl, where does that food go? Where does that food go? And, fit check. If he wearing sweatpants with a thank-a-lang print. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed this, and for the channel, the videos coming forward, if there's a person that would like to keep up with the information around LGBTQIA plus influencers and media personalities, it would be great to DM those things on Instagram and follow these media accounts so that we can speak about these things and have a Gworl talk. And even with Saucy saying Gworl and Material Girl. So yeah, speaking about some of the things that I could see for the channel is doing things that that allow us to celebrate each other, like getting feminine things done, like getting our nails done and getting makeup done and lace weaves and things like that, things that are girl talk, talking about experiences that we like in the bedroom, what we like from tops, versatile experiences, because I know that there are some verses out there, but and there are some tops that consider themselves girls, like GworlFrens. There are femme tops and soft tops, and we have to be able to speak about these things so that it is branded and it is something that is accepted within the community. So I am very grateful for this episode. And if you're grateful for this episode, you can like, comment, share, and all of those great things. Toodaloo.